Opening part. We live as if life is something guaranteed, as if the people we love will always be here, as if today will always be followed by tomorrow. We walk through our days half asleep, numb to the moments passing right in front of us. We scroll, we chase, we complain, we wait for later to finally begin living. But what if later never comes? The ancient Stoics believed this truth was not something to fear, but something to awaken us. They practiced what they called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of misfortune, a daily reflection on the fragile nature of everything we love. Not to be morbid, not to drown in anxiety, not to fill the mind with fear, but to wake up, to finally see life clearly, without the fog of entitlement, habit, and distraction. Because only when we understand that life can change, that we can lose what we love, that today is not promised, do we begin to appreciate the depth, the softness, the miracle of this single breath, this single sunrise, this single presence of someone we care about. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now, take what's left and live it properly." This was not a call to despair. It was a call to awareness, to live with eyes open, to love fiercely, to speak honestly, to stop wasting time on what will not matter in the end. Negative visualization is not about imagining tragedy to depress yourself. It is about remembering reality to liberate yourself. It removes the fear of loss because loss is already understood. It deepens love because love is finally recognized as temporary and precious. It quiets anxiety because the mind is no longer shocked by life, but prepared for it. And in that preparation, we find something unexpected. Peace. A peace that does not depend on circumstance. A peace that cannot be taken away. A peace rooted in acceptance. Part 1. Why we suffer more than we need to. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." And if we look closely at our own lives, we see how true this is. Most of our suffering is not caused by the world itself, but by the stories we tell ourselves about it, by the fears we allow to live in our minds, by the expectations we cling to without even realizing it. We worry constantly about the job, the bills, the future, about what people think, about what could go wrong. But what's strange is this: while we spend so much time fearing what we might lose, we rarely stop to appreciate what we have. We walk past miracles every day. A familiar face, a warm meal, the ability to move, breathe, speak, think, love. But when something becomes constant, we start to believe it's guaranteed. We assume the people we love will always be here. Our comfort will always be here. Our youth will always be here. Our opportunities will always be here. And because we assume that, we take it all for granted. Not out of malice. Not because we are selfish, but simply because we forget how temporary life truly is. Look at how easily we are disturbed. A minor inconvenience ruins the day. A delay feels like a great injustice. Traffic makes us angry. A rude comment makes us spiral. The world does not need to actually harm us. The idea that something is uncomfortable is often enough to break our peace. Meanwhile, truly meaningful things, like presence, connection, health, time, breath, fade quietly into the background. This is why the Stoics believed humanity suffers twice, first because of reality, and second because of expectation. We expect life to be smooth, so when it is not, we feel wronged. We expect people to behave how we want, so when they don't, we feel disrespected. We expect success to arrive easily, so when it takes time, we feel defeated. But the truth is simpler. Life does not owe us anything. People are temporary. Circumstances change. Comfort is fragile. Stability is a dream we pretend is real. And when we build our happiness on these fragile assumptions, our happiness becomes fragile too. The Stoics saw this clearly. They believed that suffering comes not from life itself, but from our refusal to accept the nature of life. We do not suffer because things change. We suffer because we expect them not to. We do not suffer because we love. We suffer because we believe love guarantees permanence. We do not suffer because life is short. We suffer because we act as if it is endless. As Epictetus said, when something happens, The only thing in your control is your response. But most of us never learn how to respond. We only react. We try to avoid pain instead of understanding it. We try to escape discomfort instead of learning from it. We try to cling to what we love instead of appreciating it. And so we go through life unprepared. Not because we are weak, but because we were never taught how to see clearly. Negative visualization changes this. Not by making life darker, but by removing the illusion that life was ever permanent to begin with. When we remind ourselves, I could lose this, something shifts inside us. Frustration softens into gratitude. Entitlement dissolves into appreciation. Anxiety transforms into clarity. Suddenly, your morning coffee is no longer just coffee. It is a warm, comforting moment that might not come again. Your friend's voice is no longer background noise. It is a blessing you may not always hear. The person you love is no longer just there. They are a living, breathing, irreplaceable miracle. The Stoics were not trying to make life gloomy. They were trying to make life vivid, to remind us that we are living something rare, something fleeting, something astonishing, but we are asleep to it. Negative visualization is the alarm clock. This is why we suffer, not because life is cruel, but because we forget how precious it is. The Stoics said, if you want to be free, if you want to be strong, if you want to be grateful, you must stop running from impermanence and start learning from it. Not later, not someday, but now, because life is happening now. And now is all we ever really have. Part 2. What is negative visualization? The Stoics called this practice premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of misfortune. To modern ears, it sounds unusual. Why would anyone voluntarily think about losing what they love? Why imagine sickness, failure, or death? Isn't that depressing? But the Stoics understood something profound. We fear what we are unprepared to face, and we cling to what we have not learned to appreciate. Negative visualization is not about being pessimistic. It is about being awake. It is the practice of imagining calmly, gently, that nothing in life is guaranteed. Not as a shock, not as a panic, but as a reminder to appreciate life while we still have it. Epictetus wrote, when you kiss your child, remind yourself that he is mortal. Not so that you love him less, but so that you love him more. This is one of the most misunderstood Stoic ideas in history. He was not telling us to be cold or detached. He was telling us to be present, to love fully without sleepwalking, to cherish without clinging, to hold life gently, knowing its fragility. When we forget that everything is temporary, we treat life as ordinary. But when we remember that nothing is promised, everything becomes extraordinary. The sound of someone's voice, the touch of a hand, laughter at the dinner table, the simple act of waking up in the morning. These are not small things. These are miracles we've grown numb to. Negative visualization is how we wake up again. To practice it, you might ask yourself, if I didn't have this tomorrow, how would I feel about it today? Not to cause sadness, but to reveal gratitude, because the truth is, you will lose everything eventually. Not all at once, not always tragically, but naturally as the seasons of life unfold. Your children will grow up, your parents will grow old, your body will change, your relationships will shift, your time will pass, and one day your story will end. The Stoics did not run from this truth. They bowed to it, because only when we stop trying to control the inevitable can we truly begin to live with openness, courage, and clarity. Seneca said, let us prepare our minds as if we had come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. When we understand that life can end, we stop postponing living. We stop waiting for a better moment. We stop delaying joy. We stop withholding love. We stop living as if we are rehearsing for a later version of life. We begin to live this life, the only one we have. Negative visualization is the recognition that every moment is borrowed, and that nothing we love is owned, only held for a while. To practice this, Stoics imagined loss, but not dramatically, not as catastrophe, not as emotional panic. They imagined it calmly, softly, almost lovingly. They would think, what if I no longer had this thing I take for granted? And then they would look at that thing with new eyes. Not desperate eyes, not fearful eyes, grateful eyes. The point is not to detach from what you love. The point is to love without illusion, to love without the lie that it will last forever, to love while knowing it could end, and loving anyway. This is courage. This is strength. This is clarity. Negative visualization trains the mind, slowly and gently, to accept reality. Life changes. People come and go. Comfort fades. Health shifts. Time moves forward. When we resist this truth, we suffer. When we accept it, we are free. This practice does not numb the heart. It opens the heart. It teaches us to feel deeply without clinging, to love fully without fear, to live presently without postponing our happiness for some imagined future. Marcus Aurelius summarized it in a single line. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This is not a threat. It is an awakening. It is the reminder that this moment matters. Not because it is dramatic, but because it is fleeting. Negative visualization does not take joy away. It intensifies joy, like turning the contrast up on life. Everything becomes clearer, sharper, more vivid. The world becomes more alive when we remember it is temporary. And we, ourselves, become more alive when we remember we are temporary too. Part 3: How negative visualization builds strength. Strength is not built in comfort. Courage is not built in safety. Peace is not built by avoiding the world. The Stoics understood that the mind is like a muscle, and that, like any muscle, it grows through resistance. We cannot become resilient while living inside a bubble of ease. We cannot learn to remain calm unless we face the storms of life. And this is where negative visualization becomes a training ground, not for suffering, but for preparation. Seneca wrote, "He who has anticipated the coming of troubles takes away their power when they arrive." Most people break down in the face of challenge not because the challenge is too big, but because their minds were unprepared for it. We live in a society that trains us to expect comfort, fast results, constant affirmation, smooth days, easy paths. So when life becomes difficult, we panic. When someone leaves, we crumble. When plans fall apart, we feel betrayed by the universe. But the Stoic asks, why are we surprised? Why do we act as if struggle is abnormal? Why do we assume life should be painless? The truth is simple. Pain is part of life. Loss is part of life. Change is part of life. Challenge is part of life. If we don't prepare the mind for these realities, then when they arrive, as they always do, we suffer more than we need to. Negative visualization gives us something precious: emotional readiness. When you gently imagine loss, not with panic but with curiosity, you train your mind to understand, I can survive this, I can recover, I can endure. You stop seeing misfortune as catastrophic. You start seeing it as human. You begin to trust yourself. And this trust becomes a kind of inner armor, not cold or rigid, but steady, flexible, resilient. The everyday inconveniences that once irritated you no longer hold power. Traffic no longer enrages you. A rude comment no longer ruins your mood. A delay no longer feels like disaster, because your mind has already practiced something harder. You have rehearsed the storms, so the raindrops no longer frighten you. This is what Stoic strength looks like. Not tense, not hard, not emotionless, but unshaken, calm inside chaos, steady inside uncertainty, like a tree that bends in the wind but does not break. Marcus Aurelius put it beautifully, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and you have the power to revoke that estimate at any moment. Negative visualization changes your estimate. It shifts. This would destroy me, to this would challenge me, and I would endure. And once the mind believes it can endure, fear loses its grip. Fear is built from the unknown. When we have already visited the unknown in our mind, we become familiar with it. And the familiar is no longer frightening. This does not make life painless. The Stoics never promised a painless life. They promise something better, a meaningful one, courageous one, a grounded one. Negative visualization allows us to feel sadness without drowning in it, face uncertainty without collapsing, lose what we love without losing ourselves. And the greatest strength it gives us is this, the ability to remain whole, even when the world around us shifts, even when seasons change, even when life asks us to let go. Most people think strength is about toughness, but Stoic strength is something deeper. It is the ability to stay soft in a world that is unpredictable, to stay compassionate in a world that is fragile, to stay grateful in a world that changes without warning. This strength is not loud. It does not boast. It does not need to prove anything. It is quiet, steady, rooted, present, like the ocean, like the breath, like time. Negative visualization builds this strength slowly, the way waves shape stones, not by force but by repetition, over days, over months, over years, until one day, something happens. A setback, a heartbreak, a loss, and you realize you are not overwhelmed. You are not shattered. You are not undone. You are ready, not because life was easy, but because you learned how to meet it, with clarity, with courage, with peace. Part 4: How to practice negative visualization. Practicing negative visualization does not require isolation, incense, or hours of meditation. It doesn't require you to sit in silence on a mountain or escape the responsibilities of your life. It begins in small, simple moments. The Stoics believed philosophy was meant to be lived, in ordinary rooms, in daily routines, in the quiet spaces between thoughts. So we start there. 1. The morning look forward. When you wake up, before the phone, before the rush, pause. Ask yourself, what if today is the last time I experience this morning? Not to darken your spirit, not to weigh the day down, but to wake up fully to it. Feel your breathing. Feel the warmth of the blanket. Feel the presence of your life. Then consider the people you live with, the work you do, the places you will go, the routines you repeat. Now whisper gently to yourself, none of this is guaranteed. And suddenly, the day feels less like a burden and more like a gift. 2. The appreciation pause. Throughout the day, pause for a moment. Choose something ordinary. Your meal, your home, your friend's laugh, your dog sleeping at your feet, the sunlight through the window, and then ask, what if this were gone? Do not dramatize. Do not spiral. Just let it remind you, this is precious. This is happening now, and you are here to experience it. This practice turns the mundane into the meaningful. 3. The evening review. At night, before sleep, reflect. What did I experience today that I take for granted? Who did I interact with that I assume will always be here? What small beauty did I overlook? Write one sentence, just one. I am grateful for this, not as a performance, not as self-help homework, but as a truth honoring the day. This trains the heart to recognize the miracle in the ordinary. 4. Visualizing loss gently. Now, the deeper part. This is where Stoicism diverges from simple gratitude journaling. Find something you deeply value, someone you love, your health, your skills, your sense of safety, your routine, and calmly imagine, what if it changed? What if I had to live without it? Do not force emotion. Do not try to feel fear. Do not create panic. This is not meant to flood the heart. It is meant to strengthen it. Say to yourself, this could be taken from me, and because of that, I will cherish it now. If sadness appears, let it soften you, not break you. If tears come, let them be gratitude, not despair. You are not imagining tragedy. You are remembering reality. Everything you love is temporary, and that is what makes it beautiful. 5. Practicing with people. Try this. The next time you see someone you love, your parent, your child, your partner, your friend, look at them briefly as if you are seeing them for the last time. Not in fear, not in sorrow, but in reverence. Notice the warmth of their presence, the sound of their voice, the way they move or smile. are the familiar patterns you've stopped recognizing. Let this awareness soften you. Let it inspire patience. Let it inspire gentleness. The Stoics believed that if we truly understood impermanence, we would speak more kindly, argue less, forgive faster, and love more sincerely. Negative visualization trains the heart to love like this. 6. Practicing with yourself. You too are temporary. Your youth, your body, your chance to live this day. Ask yourself, if this were my last year alive, how would I live differently? If this were my last week, what would matter? If this were my last day, how would I treat myself? These questions reveal priorities. They strip away noise. They clear the fog of distraction. They remind us that most of what we worry about does not matter, and most of what matters we forget to honor. 7. The real goal, not sadness, presence. Negative visualization is not a morning ritual. It's a waking ritual. It does not say, life is tragic. It says, life is temporary. Don't miss it. It does not ask you to detach from what you love. It asks you to love without sleepwalking, to love while you can love, to speak while you can speak, to forgive while you can forgive, to live while you can live. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not act as if you had 1,000 years to live." The Stoics did not meditate on loss in order to feel afraid. They did it to feel alive, to turn ordinary days into miracles, to turn moments into treasures, to turn life from something passing by into something deeply, vividly lived. Part 5. Turning fear into freedom. There is a moment, subtle but real, when negative visualization stops feeling like preparing for the worst and begins to feel like true freedom. Because once you've seen how little control you genuinely have, once you've accepted that everything you love is temporary, once you've made peace with the fact that life is constantly changing, something inside you relaxes, the grip loosens, the fear dissolves, the heart opens. This is the paradox at the center of Stoicism. We become free not by holding on, but by learning how to let go. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you accept what happens, you become invincible, not because life cannot hurt you, but because its changes no longer terrify you." When the mind is always afraid of loss, failure, embarrassment, rejection, it becomes small, defensive, fragile, easily disturbed. But a mind that has practiced letting go, a mind that has rehearsed uncertainty, a mind that has sat with discomfort instead of running from it, that mind becomes unbreakable. It does not cling to outcomes. It does not fight reality. It simply meets life as it is, fully awake, fully aware, fully alive. And here is the quiet miracle. When you're no longer afraid of losing what you have, you begin to appreciate it more. You love more deeply. You listen more carefully. You speak more kindly. You take fewer moments for granted, because you've remembered that no moment is guaranteed. Negative visualization does not make you pessimistic. It makes you grateful, turns fear into presence, turns attachment into appreciation. It turns the ordinary into the sacred. Every breath becomes a gift. Every relationship becomes precious. Every sunrise becomes a miracle you don't assume you deserve. This is the freedom the Stoics spoke of. A life not lived in fear, but in clarity, courage, and gratitude. So take this with you today and every day. Nothing is promised. Nothing is permanent. And that is exactly why life is beautiful. Let this thought soften you. Let it free you. Let it help you love boldly and live fully. Because the only true way to lose life is to not appreciate it while you have it.